The Forge. Chapter 1, The Question. December 19th, 2025, Green Cove Springs, Clay County, Florida. The rain was coming down in that warm Florida way. Thick drops smacking the palm fronds and drumming on the tin roof of the 1970s ranch house like it wanted to break in. Ray Harlan, 53 years old and still getting used to saying it, sat in his patched recliner with his feet up and a bottle of Modelo Especial sweating on the side table. The TV murmured a replay of some Starship test flight, volume low enough that the rain mostly won. Ray didn't care though. These flights never got old to him. It took his mind off of other things. The house felt bigger and more empty every year. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. The mortgage was finally paid off. Jess, his daughter, had followed in her mother's footsteps as a homemaker in Atlanta and was raising 3 little ones with the same quiet patience Linda had always shown, but as a single mother. Her husband, who had been a cop, had been killed in a shooting during a traffic stop a few years before. Mike, his only son, was out west, a park ranger in Colorado Springs, Colorado, living in a cabin near a national park. He was always sending pictures of elk and snow-capped peaks, trying to tempt Ray into moving there. They called on Sundays, voices bright, lives full. Ray was proud, but the quiet after those calls always settled heavier. Linda had lost her battle with lymphoma 6 years ago, 2 hard years of chemo, hope, remission, and then the cruel return that took her fast in the end. She'd passed in their bed, the one in the master bedroom, surrounded by family and the soft beep of machines. Ray hadn't slept in that bed since. The recliner had become his spot, close enough to the TV, far enough from the memories. Some nights he dozed upright. Others he just stared at the ceiling until dawn. Long enough that the ache had settled into something quieter, but short enough that her sewing room still sat exactly as she'd left it. Pins in the tomato cushion, half-finished quilt on the frame. Ray had retired from the big rigs at 50, but retirement didn't stretch the pension as far as he'd hoped. So he picked up Amazon Flex routes a few days a week, loading up his silver F-150 with packages, cruising the quiet roads around Green Cove Springs and Middleburg, dropping off everything from dog food to diapers along Black Creek and the St. Johns River. It kept him moving, kept a little extra cash coming in, and gave him something to do besides staring at the walls. The road still felt like home, even if it was just 30-mile loops through Clay County instead of cross-country hauls. Tonight, the restlessness was worse than usual. He'd finished a late evening flex block an hour ago, packages delivered, truck parked under the carport. Now he scrolled past the usual noise on X, saw the announcement about the new Grok update, voice mode, better reasoning, ask it anything. Figured what the hell. He'd talked to dispatchers less friendly than some AIs. He opened the app, tapped the mic, and spoke into the dim living room lit only by the TV's blue glow. Hey Grok, random question. How tall do you think plants could grow on Mars with that lower gravity? He expected a quick canned answer. Instead, the reply came back thoughtful, detailed, like talking to someone who actually cared about the question. Ray leaned forward, thumbs moving faster than they had in years. So, taller trees. What if we built domes or something? And just like that, the conversation took off. The rain kept falling. The Modelo went warm. Ray forgot the empty bedrooms, forgot the quiet, forgot he was supposed to be too old for this kind of excitement. He asked about asteroids next, then solar sails, radiation shielding, closed loops, hell, even using human waste as shielding. The ideas piled up like mile markers on an open highway. By 3 a.m., he was pacing the living room in his socks, phone in one hand, grinning into the dark. The last message glowed on the screen as he finally dropped back into the recliner. What happens next in the saga? Ray stared at it for a long minute. Then he said low and steady, to the empty house and the rain and whatever was listening out there in the dark. Guess I got time to find out. He saved the chat, let the phone slip onto his chest, and, still sitting upright in the recliner the way he'd done every night for 6 years, finally drifted off to sleep. The rain softened on the roof, the TV flickered to black, and for the first time in a long while, Ray Harlan slept without dreaming of hospital rooms or empty highways. Somewhere beyond the clouds and the Clay County night, something had begun. Stick around for Chapter 2. Where does this story go next?